All right, my name is Oshi Abuchi Emmanuel, popularly known as Sir Oracle. Okay, as a graduate of English and Literature in the Great University of Benin, I teach English language and literature. However, considering the versatility of my knowledge in art department generally, I also teach CRS, I teach government, I teach all our subjects, talking about WAEC and JAMB level. But for higher institution students, I teach students that major in English and literature in different universities across Nigeria. Talking about my major impacts, firstly, as a tutor of English language, I am very, very happy to whenever I hear that one of my students score very high in English language. We all know that English language is just one of the subjects that JAMB and WAEC students don't really take serious because it gives them problem, it gives them headache. However, I have students that have scored 90 and above in English language, 90 and above, and that is very, very fantastic. But on a general base, I have students that have scored very high in the combination of the subjects. Students that have scored 330, 340, 325, a lot of them. So it's a great achievement for me as a tutor. Anyways, I am known for a lot of things. However, I am known for my capacity to make topics in English language be relatable when or while teaching students. I love to, bring in discussions about religion, bring in discussions about relationship, bring in discussion about different things just to make the topic relatable. I don't just teach students by using a textbook and then giving the student what is in the textbook as if I am prescribing drugs. No. I come to the class and I make sure that I break the topic down and make it relatable with examples that the student will enable the students to easily understand what we are teaching. And of course, you cannot be in my class as a student and not be happy. You will be very happy to be in the class because we always have things that will make you happy. Talking about the subjects, the relatable examples, mind-blowing philosophic conversations and all of those things. So all of these are the basic things I am known for. And that is why I always have year in, year out, I have students that will say, oh, I didn't like English language before now, but because I am here, because of how you teach, sir, English language is now my best subject. And these are just one of those things. Talking about low JAMB score, I think looking at it, it is a two-way stuff. What I mean by two-way stuff is that even though the students have their own faults when it comes to low JAMB score, we cannot disregard the faults of the examination body. We cannot disregard the fault of the examination board. What I'm trying to say is that we all know that some of these students are actually not serious. They are preparing for JAMB, they are not reading as much as they are supposed to read. Some of them will even be engaging in activities that are not supposed to be what they should focus on for the moment. All of these things create distraction. And in every area of life, in every activity of life, once distraction sets in, it will be very hard to achieve your goal. So this is one of the problems that we have. And then, now we have issues where almost every young girl, every young guy has a phone. So the phone, if instead of helping them, creates or constitutes distraction. So they use their phone, go on TikTok, go on Facebook, Twitter, just to watch videos, not to do research. Some of them even, now that we even have AI, which is supposed to help them, some of them don't use AI for the right reasons. when you check the phone of some of these students and you see what they use AI for, the questions they ask AI, you will laugh. Like you will be shocked to see that a young girl is asking AI, can you send me urgent 2K? You will now be, what is your problem? You cannot ask AI, what is wave? What is this? No, they will be just be discussing nonsense. So all of these things create distraction. And then at the end of the day, they tend to get very low JAMB score. You even see students getting below 100 because of how unserious they are. On the other hand, JAMB, the board that organize UTME, they have their own fault. Because if you look at the last JAMB, in fact, the previous UTME that have been written, you discover that some of the centers, their systems are not working well. I have a student who is supposed to get over 300 in JAMB, but because when she was, attempting the last subject, which was chemistry, her system went off, and this made her to get a very low score in chemistry. She couldn't finish the chemistry questions, but she scored very high in the other subject. Her English language was very good, 90 plus. Her physics was very good, biology was very good, but the chemistry was very low. I think she got 40 something or 50 something in chemistry, which didn't make her to get up to 300. I think she got 270 or 280 something or so. So the board needs to work on these things too. They need to work on it. And then again, you have a situation where they tell a student, a candidate, that your paper is scheduled for 10 a.m. and then the student, the candidate, gets there 12 p.m., 1 p.m., they have not started. All of these things creates emotional and psychological stress for the student, which in turn affects their performance. So it is a two-way thing, and everybody involved, the student or the candidate and the board, they need to work and ensure that their weaknesses or their areas where they are not performing excellently needs to be given keen attention. I think that is just it. If that is fixed, the students, if they read properly, give their attention to studies, and then the system they use for the examination, the systems are working properly, there is nothing that will make the students not to score very high. Yes, I think the very first thing I would love to say to the public, especially the parents. Number one, let me talk to the parents whose wards or whose children are writing WAEC or UTME. They really need to give keen attention to their children. Some of the parents, they also have their faults. They just send the students to school. They just send the student to a JAMB center. When the student gets home, they don't tend to ask the student, okay, Afra, what did you learn today? Were you given any assignment? What's your preparation level? They don't disturb them. They just feel like, okay, we are sending him to a school, we are sending him to a lesson center, so that is enough. That is not enough. They have work to do at home too. They have work to do where they discover that the student has been busy using his or her phone, and not like he or she is using it for reading. It is their responsibility to do what? To call the child and say, look, what are you doing? You have been with this phone. There are cases where we seize the phone of the student and then we call the parent, give the phone to the parent, that look, don't give this boy this phone until it is time for you to give the phone back to the boy. And before you know it, 1 day, 2 days, you will discover that they have given back the phone to the person. If you ask the parent will say, hey, he needs the phone so that we'll be able to communicate with him. It is very simple. If you have to communicate with the student, why don't you get him a small phone? And when he gets home, he wants to make researches with his phone, you give him the phone under strict monitoring. Not that you are allowing to use phone anyhow. So they have their rules to play. That is number one. Number two, some of the parents, their children are preparing to write JAMB. A child of 16 years, a child of 17 years is preparing to write UTME or WAEC, and they will know that the child is keeping bad company. They will know that the child is in one, romantic relationship with another adolescent or with another young person, and they will not do anything to correct it. These things affect the performance of students because it creates distraction. That is just the fact. So they need to pay keen attention to their children. When they know that their children are doing things they are not supposed to do at their age or at that age, they correct it immediately. That is for that. And for the students, especially now that WAEC is moving to a CBT-based examination. Those that have not written WAEC, those that have not written UTME, you have a lot of work to do. You need to prepare yourself adequately, both for your WAEC and for your UTME. You need to prepare yourself adequately. Don't waste your time watching Korean movies. I always tell my students, these Korean movies have affected the brain of most students that they cannot think properly again. Once they are with their phone, they are watching Korea, they are seeing Korean movies. And some of them are too addicted to games. They can play game even while sleeping. The book of Ecclesiastes says, for everything there is a time. You will play game and be tired of game. You will have time to watch movies and you'll be tired. But for now, your examinations should come first. Preparation for the examination should come first. If not, you will write the examination and fail. And you will have to resit the examination again. And for the general public, please, I want to say this. School is not a scam. I have heard it, people have said it, people are still saying it. School is a scam. The country may be somehow, but school is never a scam. So if you have a student or if you have a child that is intelligent, that is brilliant, don't let anybody tell you that school is a scam. Ensure that you try everything within your power for the child to be in school, for the child to be educated, for the child to, be a graduate. It is not only about money. It is about exposure. It is about different things that will help the child on the long run. I think that is all for now. Okay. First, like I said, I teach any art subject, talking about English, talking about students that are writing English language or students that are writing JAMB, let me put it that way. So if your child is, an art student writing any of the art subjects, talking about English, literature, government, CRS, you can always contact me. We can always do it physically. We can always do it virtually. Is technology has made the world to be a global village. So we don't really need anybody to be with us before we can pass information across or before we can communicate. That is number one. And number two, I am a relationship therapist. So if you are having issues with your relationship, you can contact me and I will help you. And you can actually go through my social media handles, Brutal Oracle on Facebook, Brutal Oracle on Instagram, Brutal Oracle on TikTok, Brutal Oracle on all social media platforms, generally, even on TikTok, on TikTok. So if you are wondering why am I answering Brutal Oracle, it is because I say the truth, regardless of whose ox is God. So whatever I perceive as the truth, I say it, I don't care. And that is why I have the word brutal, because the truth is bitter. So when I say it, it pricks your emotion. And it's only the strong that can withstand the truth. So that is why I'm called the Brutal Oracle. Yes, my Facebook profile. If you go through my Facebook profile, I have a lot of videos there about relationship, about how to make money, about how to be a man, and all of those things. So it is Oshi Abuchi Emmanuel. It is my name, my profile. So Oshi Abuchi Emmanuel. If you go there, you will see a lot of videos. You will see a lot of things that will actually help you, especially if you are a man, because I understand that the life of a man is very hard, very, very hard. So I always tell people, any day you wake up and then you discover that you are a man, life is already winning you 1-0. So, and if you are a Manchester United fan, life is already winning you 2-0. If you are in Nigeria, life is winning you 3-0. So, it's if you don't have any financial help or backup, life is winning you 4-0. So the life of a man is very hard, and that is why people like us come out to encourage men, to advise men, to, you know, especially the young generation, to tell them what to expect as a journey through life and how to tackle those problems. So if you go to my profile, just like any of my social media pages, for Shabuchi Emmanuel, you are going to find those helpful contents there.
All right. Thank you very much.
You are welcome. Thank you.